Episode 105, Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. In this episode, we explore a profound truth from The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Most of us live as though we have endless time. We often procrastinate, pushing important tasks or decisions to tomorrow, next week, or next year, with the comforting thought that there's always more time. This mindset arises from our tendency to avoid thinking about death. But when we ignore death, we also lose the urgency to make the most of the present, as time begins to feel infinite. Think about your own life. Maybe you have dreams or goals, writing a book, starting a business, or learning a new skill. But how often do you say, "I'll start tomorrow"? Tomorrow becomes next week, then next month, and suddenly years have passed. We also jump from one goal to another. Today we want to learn guitar, tomorrow we think about learning to paint, and the next day we dream of traveling. Because we think we have endless time, we don't fully commit to anything. We end up feeling worried and stressed, knowing we should be doing something but never really getting started. But something interesting happens when we have a real deadline. Imagine you have a project due in 2 days. Suddenly you can do in 48 hours what you couldn't do in weeks. Your body feels different. You're more alert, more focused. Your mind becomes sharper and more creative. You feel alive and energized. Why does this happen? A deadline makes time feel real and limited. You stop thinking about other things and pour all your energy into one task. It feels good to be so focused, doesn't it? In our world of constant distractions, we rarely get to experience this feeling. Here's a powerful idea. What if we treated our whole life like it had a deadline? Because it does. We don't know when, but we all die someday. Even if we live to be 90, that time goes by faster than we think. This isn't meant to be depressing. Instead, it can wake us up and make us live better. Think about it. You could die tomorrow, or next week, or in 50 years. But the point is, your time is limited. Some people might say, well, if life is short, let's just have fun all the time. But this doesn't really work. When we try to avoid thinking about death by just seeking pleasure, we create new problems. 1. We always need new, more exciting things to feel good. 2. We get grumpy when we don't get what we want. 3. Over time, we start feeling empty inside. 4. We begin to hate the thought of death even more because we know we've wasted our time. As one wise person said, the more you've wasted your life, the more you fear death. Instead of ignoring death or just seeking pleasure, we can use the knowledge of our limited time to live better. 1. Treat each project like it might be your last. Pour your energy into it. 2. Stop wasting time on little arguments or distractions that don't matter. 3. Focus on what truly matters to you. 4. Find joy in getting things done and making progress. When we work this way, something magical happens. The breaks we take feel better. The fun we have feels more meaningful. Why? Because we know we've earned it, and we know these moments don't last forever. Let's make this practical. Imagine you want to write a book. Instead of thinking, I'll start someday, you think, this could be my only chance to write this book. Suddenly, you find time to write every day. You stop making excuses. Small problems don't bother you as much. You feel more alive and purposeful. This applies to everything, your relationships, your work, your dreams. When you truly understand that time is limited, you start living differently. Here's the surprising part. When we live with awareness of death, we actually enjoy life more, not less. We appreciate the small moments. We feel more alive in our work. We love more deeply. We live more fully. Think of time like money. If you had endless money, nothing would feel valuable. But because money is limited, we appreciate what we buy. Time works the same way. Because it's limited, it becomes precious. 1. Every morning remind yourself, this day is a gift. I don't know if I'll get another. 2. When you start something, imagine it's the last thing you'll ever do. How would you do it differently? 3. Stop saying someday or when I have time. Either do it now or decide it's not important. 4. At night, ask yourself, if this was my last day, would I be satisfied with how I lived it? We can't escape death, but we can use it to make our lives better. By remembering that our time is limited, we can stop putting off what's important, focus on what truly matters, find joy in both work and rest, live more fully and deeply. This isn't about being perfect or never having fun. It's about living with awareness and purpose. It's about making our limited time count. Remember, the goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create a life so meaningful that when death comes, we can say, I lived well. We're now accepting a special kind of donation, your likes. Each one gives us the motivation to keep creating top-notch content for you. If something in this video resonated with you, share your thoughts and personal experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be valuable to someone else. Now, a quick reminder. Make it a habit to learn something beneficial every day. Remember, the content you consume is like food for your brain. Be intentional about it. Otherwise, the algorithm might end up influencing your thoughts. Give it some thought. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.